Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. This is one of our favorite meetings. It really is the crux and core of Global Chamber. Those of us that have been somehow gifted to be connecting people. Mike Patterson, who's in the call, is definitely a super connecting people. Our brains are wired, I guess, in a little bit of a different way. And Mike knows me that that's kind of the way I've always been, even before Global Chamber. And so it was very natural that our first signature event for Global Chamber was this, the League of Extraordinaries, which I think, first met. And I think, Mike, you might have even been there at the Ritz-Carlton at the corner of 24th and Camelback, right next to your office now, as it turns out, right? Literally right next door. The hotel has changed. Mike's location has changed in terms of where he works. But the basic idea is the same, is that this meeting is intended to connect members to people who can help. And typically that's clients. And so what we would ask you to do today is, number one priority, who do you want to meet? Where are they? What title? What problems do they have? Whatever it is. And then, how else can we help? And then we're always happy to hear how you can help the global tribe. So thank you all for joining today, and we'll get going. Let's start with Mike. Mike Patterson, in the early days, was our number one supporter, and he's one of our top supporters and is always number one in my heart as well. He's on our Global Chamber Phoenix Advisory Board. He's amazing. And one of the great things about Mike is no matter who you connect him with, he finds a way to help. And he's an attorney. Attorneys aren't supposed to have time to help people, not in the broader sense of helping, but he always helps in bigger and better ways. And I just love you. You're amazing. Thank you for all that you do. What would you like to share, Mike? Who would you like to meet with?
Well, I have been talking to Rich Wolverton. He's been connecting me with a lot of people. And by the way, that happened through the Global Chamber here. I work on a lot of different projects, from private capital raises is my niche, selling companies, M&A. I do a lot of that. But however, I would like to meet people who want to raise capital, who want to sell their business or buy one, acquire one. That'd be perfect. But we're 550 lawyers in 25 cities, and we can do everything from, licensing to labor and employment to, everything across the board, import, export. I do distribution agreements internationally for a lot of companies. But with Rich, we have a very large 140-acre food distribution center that is a big project I'm working on with Arizona Fresh. And Rich has connected us with some really great people in the food distribution industry, which is his expertise. This project's going to be food security for Phoenix. We don't have a culture in the United States of every city having their own food distribution center. LA has one, San Francisco has one, San Antonio has one, Philadelphia has one, there's one down in the Southeast, but they're not everywhere. And there's a food desert between Texas and LA, and we're going to fill it. And so and thank you, Rich, for bringing so many experts into my circle and my client's circle. That was a big help. But for the rest of you, if you have capital raise needs, or if you have an international contract that you need to work out, joint venture or something between here in India or here in Singapore, and I'm also doing inbound companies to the Arizona area on the CHIPS Act, semiconductors. Well, that's enough. Sorry. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday, happy Good Friday for many on the Western Christianity. I'm a Greek Orthodox, and so our Easter happens on May 5th, this big separation this year. But whatever your religion, whoever your God is, we welcome you to the Global Chamber. Mike's firm, by the way, is Spencer Fain. When Mike joined Global Chamber way back 8 years ago. He was with Polsinelli, who is also a member. Subsequently, he and Tony Nashar was in the room there for a while, and maybe he'll rejoin us. Both really good firms. Spencer Fane happens to be where Mike is now. They tolerated, in a good way, his connecting. I remember one conversation that Mike had at one point where he said, and this wasn't directed to either Polsinelli or Spencer Fane. He said, I do all this good work and it's not always appreciated, and he does good work, and the good work relates to connecting people like he's done with Rich and vice versa. So Mike, thanks for all that you do. We have let's see, how many do we have? Oh, so we have a full house today. So we do finish on time. And so what I'd ask you to do is we'll probably need to kind of go to 2 to 3 minutes per person. And so it'll be a real speed dating today. Let us know who you want to meet. And then if put your information in the chat area to exchange. We'll also connect you all through LinkedIn. So there'll be a post later today that connects all of you. And so feel free to connect that way as well. Let's go next to Bill Edwards. He has 50 years of global business experience. He is the preeminent expert in international franchising, but way beyond that, he's also a preeminent expert on just global business and where to grow your business. So whereas Mike Patterson can help you with the details of what contracts do you need, what are the legal entity aspects of setting up in different places, Bill Edwards will take one step ahead of that and help guide companies to determine where the best locations are for companies, not just franchises, because he's been in oil and gas and a variety of industries. He's in Southern California. He is an extraordinary leader. Bill, thank you for joining today. Who would you like to meet? How can we help?
Well, thank you for that introduction. An expert is somebody who's 10 miles away from home. So that's what an expert is. But as a trusted global business advisor, I use my 50 years this year of successful international operations development, executive consulting, and entrepreneurial experience to help executives of companies taking their businesses global to not make the same mistakes I did and have seen made. So I've lived in 7 countries, worked on projects in 50 countries with Fortune 500, Inc., 5,000, and private companies on 12 different business sectors. And I'm a recognized subject matter expert on taking businesses into the right countries successfully. So who I'm looking for is an introduction to companies that are either international now or thinking about going international. If they're now, they probably have some challenges, and I've probably seen those. If they're thinking about going, we're experts in picking the right countries that'll have the highest ROI potential for the company. So Bill Edwards, Edwards Global Services. Thanks, Doug.
Bill's on our Global Chamber Los Angeles Advisory Board. And Bill, you also have leadership roles with the District Export Council in Southern California. And what other groups? I think you're involved with some other things as well.
The World Affairs Council in Southern California, and I just was a few months ago named as a advisor to the U.S. Secretary of Commerce on international trade in the franchise sector. Fantastic.
Congratulations on all of that.
Thank
Definitely connect up with Bill if you're not already. Let's continue to go around the room. This is an interesting room because, very often it's very global. You are all global. It seems to have, however, a lot of people based in the U.S., which is I've never seen that quite the way this room is. So thank you for creating a really interesting room. One person who is based in the U.S. but has a global reach. He works internationally every day, help people with cross-cultural issues, is Louisa Drescher. Louisa, you and I recently spoke at a group. I don't even remember exactly. I think it came out of the London Intercultural Center. So it was great to see you there. You are such an extraordinary expert, originally from Brazil. And so you bring that to the table as well. Who would you like to meet and how can we help? Oh, Louisa, are you there? You're on mute.
Yes, sorry.
There you go. No worries. Hi, great to see you.
Good to see you as well. Good morning, everyone. I remember my brother telling me about the day he almost had a heart attack at work. He was working for a U.S. company in São Paulo, and on that particular day, the CEO was visiting Brazil, and the CEO just casually walks by his desk and asked my brother to stop by his office because he wanted to chat. And that's when my brother felt, he thought he was going to have a heart attack right there at work. So in the afternoon, he gathered his courage to go meet with the CEO. It turns out that the very friendly CEO just wanted to chat with my brother and get to know him. And my brother is fluent in English and actually congratulate him on a job well done. And here is the problem. The very friendly CEO brought his egalitarian, friendly, open door approach to Brazil without considering the ramifications. In fact, he made the number one mistake many individuals make when crossing borders. He forgot to consider the perspective of the host country. He failed to consider that his approach, although it works well in the US, would not work in Brazil because Brazil is a very hierarchical society. There's a lot more formality in the workplace, and the chain of command must be strictly followed. So this was just one of the many, many mistakes well-intentioned individuals make when they are crossing borders. They forget to switch their perspective so they can consider the perspective of the host country. I want to work with organizations that want to help team members understand cultural differences so they can avoid embarrassing situations and other costly misunderstandings in their cross-cultural interactions. Because as organizations become more culturally diverse, either because they're expanding overseas or hiring more immigrants, the potential for misunderstanding grows exponentially. And just because you're using a common language, let's say English, it does not mean you will be smooth sailing. Many things have to be considered for effective cross-cultural communication to happen. So at my company, Mastery Cultural Differences, we offer a series of workshops through the Global Academy, where I help individuals understand cultural differences and how they impact the workplace. The Global Academy is also a digital course that can be completed 100% online. So feel free to reach out and ask any questions you might have, and I'll put my information on the chat. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. You're based in Minneapolis, but you work globally and you work typically with executive teams, C-level folks, with them individually, but also within groups, within companies.
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Let's now go to Bill James of CreditSafe. He's based in the US as well, although the company is headquartered in Cardiff, Wales. CreditSafe is just an extraordinary way of determining whether somebody's a good credit risk, and their management of data is legendary, really extraordinary. Bill, thank you for joining our conversation today. CreditSafe is also one of our original members of Global Chamber, so we appreciate that as well. Who would you like to meet, Bill, and how can we help?
Yeah, good morning, Doug, and again, thanks for having me, and good to see some familiar faces here. Hi, Bill Edwards, can attest to his level of expertise there, and I love the comment about an expert is 10 miles from home. I'm going to steal that, but I'll give you credit. So again, happy Friday, everyone. So as I put in the chat, CreditSafe, we provide financial risk information globally for 430 million entities in over 200 countries. We also provide compliance data such as sanctions, watch lists, anti-money laundering, government-owned entities, UBO data. I also put a blurb in there about a recent regulation that the US government passed in December called Know Your Cargo. So those of you importing, exporting goods want to make sure you're being compliant with that. So to answer your question, Doug, I would would love to have a conversation with anyone who is importing goods from outside of the US, just so I could talk you through what the regulation entails, make sure you're compliant with the US government. So last thing you want to do is incur any type of fines for not being compliant. You may already have a solution in place. This isn't a pitch for Credit Safe, although we would love to have your business. But if you have something in place, I'm happy to give you a second opinion on if it is going to pass an audit or not. So again, happy Friday, everyone, and happy to be here and be part of the team.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Because we have enough folks in the room so that we need to keep moving, it'll be hard to do follow-up questions and have anyone say anything. However, if you do have something you'd like to share, please raise your hand and I'll make sure that I can get to you, especially if a follow-up. And then also, please feel free to use the chat area to communicate to all of us, send your contact information, and there will be a LinkedIn post that connects all of you. I've already written down all of you and I'll make sure that happens. Thank you, Bill, for sharing. Let's continue to move around the room and let's go to Karina Getz. Karina is actually not based in the U.S., so that's refreshing. And your expertise in the region of your focus is extraordinary. Thank you, Karina, for joining today. Who would you like to meet and how can we help?
Well, thank you very much, Doug. And very similarly to Louisa, I also actually specialize in cultural communication, but I actually specialize in the Middle East. So when I say Middle East, I predominantly mean like the Gulf region, so United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, and Kuwait. So who I would like to meet is sort of any kind of companies or people, professionals that have any kind of projects out there where maybe their team is not so well versed in the culture. And I seem to work a lot with women because women specifically for Saudi Arabia have a lot of questions in terms of like, what's the dress code? Are people going to talk to me? How should I behave? I feel really uncertain if I have to go there. Like every one of my friends and family say, no, please don't go. It's not safe. So these are all the kind of things that I can help with. And then one of my big passions is to basically build relationships, better relationships between the West and the Gulf region, because I think there is a lot of things that get really misrepresented in the press and people get really sidetracked because they don't hear another opinion. So that's me. Thank you.
What's the name of your company? I'm subscribed to the newsletter. I didn't quite understand the name of the company. Could you just what does that mean?
Yeah, sure. So my company is called StarCat, and a lot of people always ask me, oh my God, what is this to do with the Middle East? Like, is it a cat or what is it? But essentially my background is in 5-star hotels. So STAR stands for five star, and CAT is actually consulting and training. So that's the explanation for the name.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
An amazing newsletter that you send out, some really great information. And it's important to me because that's actually a region I'm not very comfortable with. That's the only region I'm really not that comfortable with, just stepping in without being really careful. So I really value what you bring to the table. Really appreciate you sharing today as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And maybe, you'll have a global chamber somewhere in the Middle East at some point.
Well, we already do. So all over the Middle East. So in almost every country. So we should definitely, if you're not connected to some of those, we should definitely. Actually, yesterday we were setting up the next UAE event that's going to be covering both UAE and Saudi Arabia primarily. So let's continue to go around. And so how about Robert McCullough? Thank you, Robert, for joining today. Economic development is such a key aspect of the community. There's the exporters, there's universities, there's the business service providers, and economic development plays a key role both in attracting and also supporting companies to grow globally. And certainly Loudoun County is one that does that that's an area I'm very familiar with, or my parents retired nearby, and my brother actually lives in the county. Could you let me know more about who you're looking for and how we can help? Oh, Robert, are you there? Okay, Robert. Hello, Robert. We'll continue to go around unless you unmute yourself here in a moment. Robert McCullough. So Loudoun County, Loudoun. And I think it's pronounced a different way actually, but I'm not really sure. So, but nonetheless,
That's correct.
What is correct?
Yes, where I live. So yes, that's correct, Doug.
Oh, okay, cool. And it's in Northern Virginia, so it's right near Washington, D.C. And many of you probably know we have a very active chapter there, Baltimore, Washington, and it includes Northern Virginia. A very high-tech, government-connected, cybersecurity, even manufacturing, some very active area. And unfortunately, of course, the Key Bridge. I think many of us have heard about that going down. While we have you on the call, Brenda, could you go ahead? Brenda has been a key leader for Global Chamber in the region. She's a book author. She knows leadership and teaches leadership. She also does a variety of activities to help organizations and leaders be more successful. We really appreciate your longtime collaboration, including on the advisory board there, and leading the advisory board there with Mijong. Who would you like to meet and how can we help, Brenda?
Well, thank you, Doug. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just want to affirm that Loudoun is the way it's pronounced. It's where Dulles Airport is. So if you don't know anything else, you've probably heard of Dulles Airport. So
absolutely.
Thank you. Yes. So hello, everyone. I'm happy to be with you today. My name is Brenda Harrington, and the name of my company is Adaptive Leadership Strategies. And we focus on just that, helping leaders to become more adaptive and nimble in this new world that we're all in. I focus on the development of global leaders and leadership teams to help them make the greatest possible impact. We do have some focus on cross-cultural competencies, not as much as we might have 10 years ago because of the way things have changed and because of some of the specialties that have emerged. But what we do focus on is helping leaders and leadership teams to really be able to manifest in the best version of themselves. So we provide tailored programs to help leaders really remove the blind spots and the barriers that are becoming an impediment or serving as an impediment to their growth and development and achieving good business outcomes. I do a lot of work in the economic development, humanitarian aid space. Can't name organizations here, but I would be interested in connecting with NGO leaders and leadership teams who are really at that break point. They're in growth mode. They're developing more diverse teams, and they're really needing to gel. They're really needing to do some meaningful work around team capacity and individual and collective development so that they can be stronger as a team and have greater impact in their desired area of focus.
Do you do work with boards as well?
Not so much from a governance standpoint, no.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Mainly with leaders and organizations, including NGOs.
Senior leaders, yes, senior leaders and leadership teams. So, you know, in a small mid to large company environment, you would be looking at you know, the CEO, anyone with a chief title, senior officers. In other environments, I'll say I work with country managers, country representatives, and their teams and things along those lines.
Are you still on a book tour, like the extended book tour?
Absolutely on the book tour, Access Denied, Addressing Workplace Disparities and Discrimination. Thank you, Doug. We have developed a course actually, and we're currently entertaining online architecture for the course to be delivered virtually in addition to face-to-face engagements. But it is I don't use the term training, but I try to create learning environments because it really is important that people engage in a meaningful way. But we are definitely focused primarily on that at this point, especially in the United States, on focusing on areas and topics associated with inclusion.
Keep up the great work. Everybody
Thank
should
you.
know Brenda. Thank you for joining today and sharing. Let's now go into the closer to the middle of the country to I think hopefully you're probably in Iowa today, Aaron. Aaron Johnson. He's a longtime member in two different companies, and MacuSafe is your latest company. And he was going through his own personal discovery because he's had so many years of international growth experience. So congratulations on your exporting expertise. And so how are things with MacuSafe? Who would you like to meet, and how can we help?
Yeah, thanks, Doug, for the intro. I am in Iowa.
Beautiful.
It is. It's going to be a nice day today. We're thankful for spring finally. So MacuSafe is a workplace wearable. It's an armband that focuses on frontline workers' experiences and exposures in the workplace. We help organizations understand where environmental working conditions or physicality might add risk to the frontline worker: heat exposure, noise exposure, slips, trips, and falls, things like that. And we also have a product that we launched recently called Interact that basically allows you to integrate your presence to an automation system or other smart devices, IoT, smart factory type applications, because we're trying to bridge the gap between productivity and safety. They really are inseparable, but we have these departmental looks at that, and our tools shouldn't be siloed either. So we're trying to bridge that gap between productivity and safety. We're looking for safety leaders and production leaders who, have a group of people that are focused on, usually some kind of labor, factories, food production, bottling, logistics, distribution. We even do some work in construction and even some mining applications. Anywhere where you have a large group of people and there's concerns around the working conditions, or you're dealing with hazards or other things where technology and data could prove useful in helping you get leading indicators around health and safety aspects, and also kind of interconnect with productivity. So that's the group I'm looking for. Appreciate the intro and thank you.
Fantastic. And thank you, because for some reason I never connected MacuSafe, MAKU. But I think there is a thing over the U, right?
Right, yeah.
U, like long. Okay.
We often tease that it's MacuSafe. So it depends upon how you want to pronounce it. But yes, MacuSafe is kind of the idea. But we've pivoted beyond just safety, and we've talked about, well, should we change it? But it is what it is, and we kind of like the name. So
Okay. Yeah, the Japanese in me wanted to pronounce it Maku. So I got you. Okay, well, very cool. Thank you for sharing. Let's now go to also somewhat in the middle of the country, Gene Hogan with Listo Global. Gene, I'm looking at your LinkedIn profile and I see a bunch of rocks that I've never would have imagined would be related to Nebraska. I'm guessing that might be maybe Wyoming or Arizona, or is it somewhere in the Middle East, or whereabouts?
Yeah,
Is
it's from Wadi Rum in Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Congratulations. Very global of you.
Yes, my 84-year-old dad and I took a trip there 2 years ago. So it's
Beautiful.
from that. Yeah.
And I love the horses as well. You're with Listo Global, and you do just some extraordinary work in getting companies to be able to find, hire, and pay global teams. Who would you like to meet, and how can we help today?
Yeah, so Listo Global, we're a full service global solutions organization. So anyone that is looking to, as Doug said, find, hire, and pay global teams. So everything from global recruiting to international contractor payments, employer of record services, which is the ability to hire employees outside your home country. So for me, the United States, without having to set up an entity in that country. And then, of course, we help companies set up entities, do global payroll, global HR, annual compliance for businesses. So anyone that's looking to hire, we would love to talk to you.
And that's a hot market, isn't it, right now?
It has been. It is definitely. So I've been doing this for close to 15 years. And it used to be huge multinational organizations, you know, Coke, Pepsi, ConAgras of the world that went global. Now it's everyone from a single person here in the US to looking for a virtual assistant. And I would say right now, Latin America has been really hot for global expansion, which is, you kind of see these trends, and right now that's the trend.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. Listo Global is definitely a company that you need to know, either yourself or someone you know. So feel free to connect up to Jean, and also stay connected. We're halfway through. And we're about halfway through all of you. So thank you for keeping us on pace, all of you. You've entered the League of Extraordinaries. It's really one of our signature events to connect our members in a rapid way to other opportunities, including clients and business referral partners and any other help that you need. If there's any help, all of you are members. If there's any help that you ever need, just reach out to us. Cesar and I can be a key point for you of contact, and we're happy to help in any way that we can. Last year, we actually had our introduction meeting yesterday, our internal meeting, and I felt really good because for the first time in about 2 years, I'm fully caught up on introductions in terms of like all the League of Extraordinaries, all the League of Opportunities, all the things that people have handed to me. I need this introduction. I felt like I was pretty caught up. I found out I wasn't. Cesar reminded me of a couple things I forgot. But still, I think one of the things that we're doing a lot better than we have been, and because we've been focusing in on it the last year, is to get better. And the upcoming app that Global Chamber is introducing is going to have a component around introductions and make that easier for you also to be able to connect up with members, but also people that you need to talk to, clients and others. So thank you for your membership, and let's continue to go around the room. Thomas Snyder, haven't seen you for a while, so it's great to see you. I love the name of your company. I love the work that you're doing. Education and trade, I think, are the two most important things for the world right now. Education helps us in so many ways. Thank you for the work that you're doing there. Who would you like to meet, and how can we help?
Yes, hello everyone. So yeah, I'm Thomas Snyder. The company is EdTech Global, so it ties in nicely to this organization. So as the name suggests, what we do is we look for very innovative EdTech businesses, so educational technology that can be curriculum, learning aids, anything that's used in a classroom. And we help those businesses globalize their revenue. So that when they have a proven concept in a home market, but don't know how to expand into North America or Latin America or Asia or Europe, we help those businesses do that. So specifically, we've got a number of European businesses where we have the exclusive distribution rights, and we've set up national sales organizations here in the US, and they're selling all over the country, and also taking American companies and expanding them into Latin America and Asia. And so that's our core business. So we're looking for innovative ed tech businesses, whether you work with them within your clients that are looking to globalize. We're very interested in. But on the other side, if you happen to be working with value-added resellers who are specialized in education anywhere in the world, we may have educational technology products that they would like to add to their portfolio, and we would like to speak to them as well.
Extraordinary. You're based out of Boston, is it?
Yeah.
You're in Massachusetts? Okay.
Yeah. Personally, I've lived most of my life in Europe. I'm half Dutch, half American, grew up in Belgium, so I've been here since 2012.
A true member of the global tribe. Thanks for what you do. And if anybody has any ideas, for Thomas, please go ahead and get connected, and then just be connected, because as I mentioned, everybody here is a member of Global Chamber, so trusted and vetted, and we know and trust all of you. So so that goes a long way. Oh, another person in the room that all of you should know is Chris Parisi. Chris is based out of Colorado, and he knows IT. And his network of IT service providers is really extraordinary, perhaps unparalleled. So, Chris, thank you for joining today. Who would you like to meet, and how can we help?
Well, good morning, everybody. Doug, thanks for the introduction there. So, Brook Trout Solutions, we're a 2 decades old company that specializes in technology solutions for businesses. Our expertise really is guiding clients through the maze of technology, ensuring that they have partners with the best suited needs for their company. At Brook Trout, we're experts in managing cloud expenses and optimization, coupled with solutions for global network connectivity that result in a boost of client productivity and enhanced customer experience. Our collaborative team approach presents an unbiased consultation and delivers tailored solutions perfectly for each client's objective. What sets us apart really is our commitment to providing value solutions with no additional cost. Our complimentary consultation services provide comprehensive insights into the technology landscape, establishing us to deliver cost-effective solutions that have tangible results. Partnering with us gets our clients peace of mind, having them a dedicated ally in their corner, and allows them to work on the technology complexities of their growing business. So really ours is a business that fits anybody looking to expand globally from a small startup into the enterprise market. The global networking side of it is really exciting and changing at this point because of the cloud. The cloud expense management allows us to give money back, funds back that we find from companies like AWS and Microsoft that are being overbilled, and put that towards other products. So we can help companies grow, and we can help that customer experience and employee productivity.
Chris's network is really unparalleled. So really anything IT, go to Chris, use him as a resource, and he has access that really helps any size company, small to large. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, everybody.
As long as we're in Colorado, let's continue the theme with Robert Lance. And I'm sorry, Robert, I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but the Colorado Rockies yesterday did not have a good day with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And so behind me is Yankee Stadium. The Yankees had a little bit better day in Houston. Robert is really deeply connected to the global community within Colorado. He's on our Denver advisory board. He's been a long-time member of Global Chamber. I love the work that you're doing and the connectivity you have with the international community there. How can we help? Who would you like to meet, Robert?
Well, Chris probably being one.
Okay.
Actually, just looked him up on LinkedIn. I'll shoot him a note. But so I'm an attorney in Denver, Colorado, and actually, since we last spoke, Doug, I am almost exclusively representing foreign clients now in the U.S. We have a lot of Austrian clients, German clients, Swiss clients. I am increasingly expanding my practice into trademarks because I have had a number of trademark cases that have been fairly successful, and the word's out there. And I have some expertise with watch companies, like what you wear on your wrist. So the
very timely
brand new news that you don't know about is we just opened our Denver office. I'm presently in Evergreen right now, but our Denver office is right next to Ball Center, and only a few blocks from the losing baseball team also. But the new Denver office, we share office space with the German American Chamber, which actually is having a celebration. I'll shoot you a note on, Doug, coming up on, I think, April 17th. But we're having an open house. We also still have, as part of our firm, the German consulate, and we work a lot with the consular corps here. I'm also the president of the Denver Council on Foreign Relations. And I actually, it's in addition to my day job. So pretty busy in the international community, but we've kind of embedded ourselves with a lot of folks in the international community. And actually I'm meeting with folks in Tokyo on Thursday or Friday next week, and then going to Taipei, Taiwan after that. So just a lot of international work going through our firm right now. Our expertise, just who I would want to connect with is anybody needing help from start to finish of your business, quite frankly. We have a lot of transactional folks, or we have transactional folks in my firm, and I primarily head the litigation department. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're expanding, and I'm trying to deal with what expansion means. And we have a lot of business right now. So
fantastic.
Looking forward to that. And, like I said, we just opened the Denver office. It's an impressive space. It's designed for collaborations. We'll have a landing pad there for international people coming into town too. So that's what we're up to. And anybody that needs a connection in Denver for international inbound work here, give us a call. And I'm pretty well connected also in the international community. So if you need a trademark attorney in Paris, for instance, I probably know somebody. So
I have somebody to introduce you to. You guys, the world may kind of come off its axis when you guys talk. So I'm looking forward to hearing how that works out.
Come off its axis. We're gonna have a solar eclipse next week.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. In fact, the person I'm thinking about is in Southern California. So let's go there where the baseball news is a little bit better than in Colorado. Phil Hendrick. I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but I do know that you're from Torrance, right? And so thank you. And it's been great to meet you a couple times since you've been a member. You handle retail businesses and merchant services in ways that are very unique and special, not just for Southern California, but all across the U.S. Who would you like to meet, and how can we help, Phil?
Yeah, thanks, Doug, for the intro. Actually, I'm in Hermosa Beach, so just by the airport, but very close to Torrance. Yeah, like you said, I'm in the inbound business. Most businesses accept credit cards. If it's a B2C or B2B business, we typically kind of focus on the B2B space. You guys might know how interchange kind of works, that 2.5%. We really can beat down that charge, especially with the B2B and our kind of technology, just so businesses aren't paying that much on the interchange. So any business that's accepting credit cards, if it's B2B, B2C, that's ideally who I'm trying to meet. Software providers, bankers, anyone in the financial space are great introductions for me. So thank you for the intro.
Well, let's make sure you get connected to Chris Breezy. I'm betting that there's some really great synergy there if you're not already connected.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. And anybody else has any additional ideas, please connect in either to us or to any of the people that are speaking today. As long as we're in Southern California, Paul Martilla, are you there? Are you a baseball fan, or are you happy the way things are transpiring either in LA or San Diego? Probably not much in Anaheim to talk about. Are you there, Paul? And who would you like to meet, and how can we help?
Yeah, yes, I'm in San Diego. Great to see everyone this morning. So my company is called Business Location Dynamics, and I specialize in helping companies to choose the optimal locations, physical locations worldwide to place different kinds of business operations like manufacturing plants, distribution centers, data centers, R&D facilities, and so on. And if appropriate, to help them negotiate financial and other incentives from the government entities in the area in which they're going to be locating. I work really across all industry sectors and in connection with first-time investments in a new geography, on-site expansions, relocations and consolidations. I do have a specialty in foreign direct investment, just essentially meaning a cross-border investment. I've done 150 of those projects over my career. I've done this project work in almost 50 countries. And essentially, what I would love to learn is if anyone knows of a company that's contemplating a physical location, a new one, or a change in location anywhere in the world, please do give me a call, and I would be delighted to help and to reciprocate in any way I can for anybody on the call and other members of the Global Chamber. Thank you so very much.
Who is your friend there?
My friend where? Oh, this is my cat, Melina. She never fails to join me for my Zoom calls.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. I don't know whether you're connected to Jeff Pappas or not, but he's, you know, a global globetrotter. In fact, he was in Kenya yesterday, and I think Rwanda today, last I saw. So we're following him and supporting him. So probably somebody you need to.
Jeff Pappas. All right, I'll do that. Terrific. Thanks so much.
We'll get you connected. As long as you brought up some really good topics, let's go to an M&A expert, someone who's also an integration expert, Paul Doherty of SMC. Paul, are you there? Thank you for what you provide. Great to have you as a new member of Global Chamber. How can we help? Who would you like to meet?
Hi, Doug. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So I'm glad to be here, and hello, everyone. My ideal customer is the owner or CEO of a typically small to medium enterprise who has mergers and acquisitions as part of their growth strategy. And I focus on integration because that's the bit that normally goes wrong. You can Google the failure rate of M&A integration, and you see it's typically between 50% and 85% of the business owners are dissatisfied with the results of the integration. And it's not typically that they buy the wrong company. They're normally good at vetting and buying the right company. They normally do due diligence correctly, but the integration is a big blind spot. They think it's an operational detail which you can throw over the wall to previously uninvolved management who, you know, are surprised by the news of the fact that they're being acquired or they're buying someone. And so when you look at integration, I've identified 7 areas where they normally go wrong. And if you talk to CEOs or owners who have bought a company previously, when you go through what could have gone better or what went wrong, these 7 areas come up all the time. So I've got that as a company merger protocol. And so the type of people, you know, apart from the owners, I mean, it's interesting just hearing on the call that, you know, Mike Patterson and Bill Edwards, they've got, you know, kind of, Mike said he wants to meet people who buy or sell companies. I'd like to meet people who might know those companies who might want to meet an integration expert, and someone like Bill who's got you know, lots of years of international development, taking companies global. So they're the kind of people who I might be able to partner up with.
Fantastic. Though, did you have a Scottish brogue? You're based in London, I believe.
Yeah, I'm Scottish, but I've lived abroad for 18 years in various countries. Just came back after 12 years in Germany. I've done business in about 45 countries around the world. So, and a lot of American customers as well. So, but yeah, I'm from Scotland originally.
So sounds great. Thank you for sharing today. Well, you brought up the topic of investment. I'd like to introduce Gary Covert to you and to everybody. Gary is also a longtime member, and he actually might have been part of that original League of Extraordinaries way back even before Global Chamber at the Ritz-Carlton. I'm not sure, but probably somehow involved in those early meetings. He's a longtime member. He works with leaders on their leadership within their organization. He has Japan experience. He's worked in the semiconductor industry and electronics, and now he's an investor and he's in the oil and gas industry. So he's a Renaissance man. Gary, who can we introduce you to? Who would you like to meet? Is there anything else we can do to help?
Yeah, thank you. Let me kind of narrow it down. So yeah, I've got the two businesses. I have a consulting business. I focus on helping companies improve their ability to attract and engage the teams they need to drive success. Looking at my roster of clients over the years, primarily the trigger point is a new leader. They're starting up a new team. It's either a CEO, have a leveraged buyout, acquired a new company, bought out the founder or somebody like that. Or it's a senior leader in a large company who is now taking over a business unit. So I'll help them get aligned, execute on their plan, all those sorts of things, help them be successful in that transition. I'm also one of the few consultants out there that are actually kind of doing what they're talking about. So, Doug talked about being an investor. Yes, I'm all in on a oil and gas development company. Me and my partners operate in Permian Basin. So we're rapidly scaling up that company. So I'm helping them with obviously the capital raises. I'm helping them with the marketing, but I'm also helping, my contribution as part of leader on that team is helping the team get developed. So that's been exciting. I'm glad to be part of that and just, skill stacking. You just run into all sorts of different clients. That's how I got involved in oil and gas, is through a client, and just really enjoy that. So that's me in a nutshell. So those are the kind of people I'm interested in looking for, would be those kinds of leaders. And then if I can help anybody, if they have interest in capital raising, if they've got interest in how to scale up those kinds of things, or other things I mentioned, I'm always happy to help.
Fantastic. A great bridge both to what we've been speaking about, and Paul, and now also I'd like to introduce everyone to Rich Wolverton, who did a killer presentation yesterday. Rich, that was amazing. It was so informative. It was so on point. It was so professional. It really highlighted the experience you have in the food distribution industry in every way. It was one of the most impressive presentations start to finish that I've seen at Global Chamber. So thank you for sharing. Who would you like to meet and how can we help?
Well, thank you for that. And Cesar, thanks for your help with that. And I got to say, Michael Patterson, if you need a little boost of energy, just give him a call. He'll give it to you.
He definitely has it.
So our company, Grow Food Service, is our background is all my team, three of us, all partners. It's in food service distribution, food service sales. And we work for two major distributors in the country. I spent first half of my career in food sales before going to work for the distributor. And what we do is help people, emerging brands mostly, through the maze of food service distribution, and save them money from costly mistakes on pricing or just decisions on how to go to market, help develop the plans and all that. So we're pretty easy to work with. We have a no jerk rule, so you can rule yourself out possibly with that. But if you're good folks and you want to talk about food service distributions, especially in the US, that's where we're best, then make connection. We'll have a chat. We'll figure out if we can help you out. Specifically right now, I have it's actually a retail client, a guy that was on my team when I was working for the distributor, that's now a honcho at a major distributor in the US. And they're looking for sparkling water in 12-ounce cans, similar to LaCroix, and looking for quality co-packers to work with. They have quality standards, price needs they need to meet. So it may not be easy, but this could be very lucrative. I put some notes in the chat, but 2.3 million 8-packs, which is how LaCroix goes to market in a year. So it's some good volume, and looking for somebody to partner with on that. I have a list of companies that I've just gone online to get, but I prefer referrals, of course. So thank you.
Very good. And Mike Patterson, I think you know Zummit, and I think that's one of the people that we've handed to you in terms of a piece of that puzzle. If anybody has other additional ideas, please send them to Rich. And if you are involved with the food industry or you have people who are, sign up for the event that we had yesterday and we'll make sure that we get the video, or just send us an email and you'll definitely want to watch that video, the start to finish of how to do a business in the US, especially from a foreign company, but even a US company doing business in the US, Canada, Mexico. Really extraordinary. Thank you, Rich. I had a thought of a theme. Where was I going to go? Let's see. Let me see if I can figure out by just looking at the names of folks. Oh, it was Joanne. Joanne Tan. So Joanne, I wanted to talk to you because you guys are in the same area, first of all, in the region of San Francisco Bay Area. I love what you're able to do with people so that they can really tap into what are the most important aspects of where they want to go next. And your vision around that is really extraordinary. I love your blog as well. A number of them have been some of the best blogs I've seen in the last 6 months. Who would you like to meet and how can we share anything that could help you?
Thank you so much, Doug, for your support, for your liking of the post on LinkedIn. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Well, first of all, let me introduce what we do. We are a full service, multiple award-winning brand building, brand marketing, customer experience design company. So we are very coaching, consultative in the beginning to make sure our clients, whether they're businesses or individuals, know what their unique value propositions are. So we have a process called a DNA decoding, okay, your brand DNA. And then we create the content, the structure, the brand positioning, go-to-market strategies. We do the market research and deliver the messaging, whether it's on website or with our proprietary SEO, which is very highly effective, or with ghostwriting blogs or whatever the marketing needs. So we help companies that are expanding, growing, or post-merger rebranding. So I can talk to Paul and a number of other, M&A area experts. And we do personal branding for highly seasoned professionals and leaders, business leaders. And we just added AI experience design. It's like, what's that? Well, that's related to how you relate to your customers, how you're going to deliver the experience that your customers enjoy, instead of letting whoever is in their head design the AI nightmare. So customers, the end users, feel completely frustrated or get lost in the process. Okay, so we help companies inbound, outbound, the whole full 10 yards. Okay, so if you know anyone who are trying to establish a new market or expanding their business in any way, especially B2B. We don't do much consumer packaged good, but B2B, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. Well, there's a couple ideas that I have for you, and I think are you hopefully connected to Anita Rodell? I have an idea there where you guys should probably chat. And if you're not, we'll be happy to connect the two of you. And I just, going back, Cesar, to Rich and getting him connected to Phil, that was what I was thinking about, is that Phil had dropped out of the room. But I think if they're not connected, they probably should be, Phil Hendrick. But so thank you. my brain is an overload, and I see we're just about at the top of the hour, but there are a few more people, so I hope you can carry on. My mismanagement of this meeting is going to have us probably go over by about 5 to 10 minutes, so I apologize that a couple people will kind of hang on. So if you can hang on for another 10 minutes or so, that would be awesome, because there's some really special people that you should know. One of them is Monica Varas. And Monica is an insurance expert, risk management, and her ability to help with people who are both importing and exporting with their insurance needs. And beyond that, based in the New York area. I don't know if you're a Yankee fan, but it was a good day yesterday. Hopefully that continues. How can we help? Who would you like to meet, Monica?
Thank you, Doug. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm a commercial insurance broker. What I do is I help importers and exporters in the global markets. We assist international companies entering the U.S. market with all type of insurance products in any type of industry. I represent 24 insurance companies in the United States. I have been working with South America and pymes, small and medium-sized businesses. I speak Spanish, so that helps a lot with the language in Latin America. And that's about for me. I would love to continue working with any international company that are entering the US market. Thank you so much to all. Bye-bye.
I think we've heard a number of people here in the call today who we probably should, if you're not connected to, get you either connected or reconnected. So thank you. And we'll process our conversation. What we do after this meeting is we post something in LinkedIn with all of you connected. So if you haven't already connected, it'll be a reminder. And then 2 is we'll meet after we trade emails internally within Global Chamber. There are already lots of emails flying around for some of you that are being connected by Cesar in the background, who is celebrating Good Friday for the Western Christians. Those of us that are Orthodox still have another 6 weeks before Easter starts. But we'll meet next week after the exchanges, and we'll continue to make connections for all of you. So thank you for joining, and thank you for hopefully hanging on for a few more minutes. I think there's 2 or 3 more people, one of which is Sarah Cornett. You mentioned a little bit about artificial intelligence, and it's come up a couple times in today's conversation. Sarah is based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she's an AI expert, and she's busy because there's a lot of need for that right now. Every business should have artificial intelligence, and we're implementing it as well here at Global Chamber. Sarah, who would you like to meet, and how can we help?
Yes, thank you, Doug. Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet because I know we're over time. But yes, I support businesses with their AI transformation and AI adoption. So everything from AI education to AI strategies to AI implementation. I am tech agnostic and industry agnostic, work with small businesses to larger companies as well. So definitely interested in meeting business leaders who are interested in AI adoption. And I've dropped my information in the chat.
Fantastic. Definitely short and sweet, and a huge topic and a necessary topic. Thank you very much. Another huge topic and very critical is professionalism and teaching that to young people and professionals. And Gloria Peterson is as good as you can get. Most of her books have been addressing that, of how to be more effective and professional at any age. And so we really appreciate the work that you do with schools. So important for young people to know how to behave, and so that helps all of us. Gloria, who would you like to meet, and how can we help?
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, everyone. That was a great lead in to what I do need. Right now, I'm looking at intern programs. I started this company over 30 years ago, and it's evolved into the Global Protocol Academy, which is now a subject matter expert company in teaching professional presence, business etiquette, and protocol. Some of my intern programs in the past have been with the University of Caterpillar, University of Toyota, KPMG, such companies like that. And oftentimes I would be brought in on day 1 of the intern program. For Caterpillar, for example, it was a 6-week program, and I was day 1. And because of my topic matter on etiquette and protocol, if any of the interns from all over the world skipped that class because they felt they didn't need it, didn't matter how good they were, they did not get an opportunity. And they didn't find out to the end of the 6 weeks. So that was kind of interesting how much importance they put in it. But one of the things that I really enjoyed, especially bringing interns in from all over the world, is oftentimes we Americans think it's us versus them, the rest of the world, and it's not. And you would have interns from different pockets, like this would be maybe a group of interns from Turkey, from China, from India, from US. And they had a hard time getting them to break out of their little pods, their little pod groups, and connect with each other. And I had a unique way of getting them to do that, to branch out. So usually on the full day, by the end of the day, they were interacting, they were crossing borders within the room. And that's really what they want to see happen. I really enjoy that. Right now, students are applying for intern programs right now, and companies are putting together their agenda for the year. So your best contact for me is to let me know, or let the company know, that I have a skill set to bring to that intern program that can make a world of difference in interpersonal skills.
Fantastic. We actually just got alerted that we have a second intern from Cultural Vistas starting next week, of all things. It's like, uh-oh, and it's the first, which I think is Monday. So I don't know how we're pulling that together, but we put a training program I did last night, and he's arriving, in a maybe by Monday, I don't know, into Phoenix. And so Cultural Vistas, I presume you've already had a chat with, and definitely the types of organizations that you're looking for, along with universities and anybody that's got interns. So thank you, Gloria, and thank you for all that you've done with our book author program as well.
You're welcome.
I think there's a couple people left, and both of them are Global Chamber connected. And so I think we should just do a quick wrap up with both of them. And then if there's anybody else that I've forgotten, and then have Cesar say a final word here on Good Friday. Let's first go to Santosh Raghavan, who's our Global Chamber Executive Director for Bangalore, India. And he's an expert not only in the region, but also on the agriculture segment. And so
thanks.
Are you there? Oh, there you are, Santosh. Yeah. Hi, Santosh.
Hey.
What would you like to share?
Yeah, thank you very much, Doug and Cesar. And it was a great week last week at Vietnam, meeting Mr. Nam from Vietnam. And we had a lot of discussions of how can we grow India and Vietnam, and both the chapters as well, and conduct few cross metro meetups between both regions. So it was great connecting Nam there. So I would like to meet I would like to meet the foodstuff importers, wholesalers, and resellers across the globe. Currently, we've been shipping to Southeast Asian markets and one of the country in Europe, which is Netherlands, and also in oceanic countries. Now, we would like to explore markets in Europe and US, UK as well. So would love to get your supports and getting me connected with the foodstuff experts in that region to help me get expanded. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Santosh. As I think all of you know, India and China are roughly the same population size. China, however, will be decreasing if all things continue, and India continues to increase. African continent is roughly the same size as well. However, Africa, where it's around 1 to 1.2 billion population today, is expected to increase to about 4 billion by the end of the century, whereas China will be only around 800 million people. So that, I think, goes to the possibilities of Africa. All of us need to be involved, and it's really exciting to see the progress. And Nihi Sanusi has been a key part of that for us. We really appreciate you putting some programs together, Nihi, and the work that you're doing as an attorney. He's got connections all across Africa, and he's a trusted resource. Is there anything that you would like to share, Nihi, before we close the room?
Thank you very much for the kind words, Doug. All I can say is that anyone who's interested in Africa, Nigeria, we're able to support in different ways on a professional level. So to be business or culture, we'll be here to assist any such interest. I'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much.
Continued success, and please do, anyone jump into our monthly call on Africa. We have typically at least 2 calls a month on Africa. So jump in, and we'll be doing another investment conversation coming up as well. Probably related to Mandela Day, which is June or July 18th or 16th, somewhere around the mid of June or July. And I meant to mention about interns with you, Gloria, about Mandela Day is coming up, and the Mandela Washington Fellowship is another partnership that Global Chamber has, and we'll be doing that program again in Phoenix, as I understand it, and in several other cities in the U.S. Young African leaders, many of whom are global advisors for Global Chamber across Africa, and it's definitely another program that everybody should tap into within your own community. I'd like to now have the final word go to Cesar. If I've forgotten anybody, raise your hand and yell out right now. And Cesar, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Sorry that I went a little bit over today.
Hey, Doug. Thank you, and hello, everyone. I see Harold de Souza. Does Harold speak?
Oh, no, Harold did not speak. Harold, are you there? Sorry about that.
I would like to give Harold a minute or two.
I missed you. Harold, are you there?
Yes, Doug. Anyway, I'll just dive in straight that.
Cesar's got my back and got everybody's back, as you all know.
Yeah.
What would you like to share? I know you've got the event coming up. Is it May 2nd?
Right. So I would like to connect and collaborate with all delegates who are right now on this panel, because through you, I would like to communicate a message to all the people born on this planet on prevention of human trafficking and education on human rights by the United Nations. Like Article 4 says no slavery. Article 1 says everyone is born free and equal. And how you can help is that I'm working on 2 projects in the US. Is number 1 is to start a male shelter home. And number 2, I'm working on expungement in the cases or felonies of human labor trafficking victims. There is expungement in the cases of sex trafficking victims. And how I can help you is that if anybody is a victim in the United States of America, we work, my organization, which is a non-profit organization called Eyes Open International. So we work with victims. If he or she is a victim of labor exploitation, they are entitled for continued presence or status, a U visa, a T visa, a permanent residency card, and eventually a US citizenship. Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you, Cesar, and all my friends.
Perfect example of turning something horrific into a gift. You've been a victim, and yet you turn that into something really extraordinary to help others not have to be a victim. So thank you for that continued work. Cesar, please continue. If I've made any other mistakes, please let me know.
No, I think we're good. We're good. Thank you, everyone. I've been connecting many of you live, and we've been taking some notes as well. So we're gonna be following up. One of the things I want to mention is the Olympics that are coming this summer. We have one of our interns. She's doing a great job on putting a series of events and podcasts around the Olympics. So if your business or yourself or someone you know is related to the Olympics somehow, feel free to raise your hand and contact us, and we will put you in the mix of things with that. And then we have a member from California, Casey Branch, is gonna be there at the Olympics, and they're planning to do an in-person meetup as well with Brené Meyer and Joe Spalber, who are both in Europe. So I wanted to bring that up. Thank you, Doug, and have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great Good Friday and weekend, and April 1st, April Fool's Day coming up on Monday. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Thank you.